toward victory. Alright everybody, my name is VTech. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. It's been a key feature, key game on my channel thus far. Of course, I'm always streaming it, always recording it, always playing with my buddies, even when I'm not recording it. And I think it really helps to simulate the real wrestling world and some of the aspects of it. I guess I'll say it that way. We're going to take a little look at some of the changes. I have the developers journal here on my phone. We're going to take a look at some of the big changes that some of them I actually forgot, because you get so used to the game that you kind of forget that this was much different than last iteration of the game in 2013. So it's been almost an entire year of the game being out right now. Of course, it's made by Grey Dog Software, Adam Ryland. When you start off the game, you're going to have the Cornellverse. And for biased reasons, I guess you'd say, I'm not too fond of this Cornellverse. So for this part, I'm really going to be hitting on connecting through the real world and saying how it correlates through a real world booking. Of course, it's going to be much different when you look at the modding aspect. Some people are going to be biased and say, hey, Kevin Steen is a much hell of a worker than Samoa Joe. People are going to have much different arguments, much different opinions. But we're going to talk about the technological functions of the game. And I think let's just roll down some big changes that I'm going to read off for you guys. Say we have the Alliance titles. That was a big one. I like the Alliance feature, but I think the title definitely helps with the NWA. Of course, if you're going to be simulating that, I think that worked out perfectly. If you see that fly, tell me. It's like really getting on my nerves. I don't know. But alright, after that, we also got Wrestler's Court. I love that. It's a big feature. You know, someone does something stupid backstage, they'll get yelled at for it. You don't shake hands, you're getting yelled at. You buy free drinks for everybody. 3v3v3, as you know, I'm a big 2v2v2v2 guy, so 3v3v3 is always fun. More the tag team action, trios action, stuff of that nature. Definitely helps out in the King of the Trios tournaments when you want to simulate stuff like that. Also for you guys, we got different changes in body types. It's definitely fun to see when your announcer becomes like muscular. In one of my games, Jim Ross became muscular. Chris Hero starts off as flabby, and you can be like, hey Chris, lose some weight, and he'll lose a lot of weight. Or you can have someone gain a lot of weight, like I had John Cena just become really flabby once. So I think that was really fun this year. Some other stuff we got here. Different searching, stuff like that. The big one is Broadcaster. We're going to talk about that one in a minute. Definitely right there. We have some more throwback options for EWR, Extreme Wrestling Revenge, or Extreme Warfare Revenge. Yeah, I believe that's what it was called. Different botches now. The big one is the Screwjob. For me, I like to always play the Montreal Screwjob or the prelude to the Montreal Screwjob, and you can actually simulate that. And I think that's really, really cool, of how if someone's being really bitter and picky and they're on their way out to another company, you can Screwjob them on the spot. Of course, they'll have a probably hatred or shimmering tension with you, but that's one of the aspects there. I saw some other stuff. Anything else crazy here? Blacklisting, of course. Cash-ins. They also have the freestyle angle. I love the freestyle angles. The auto booker is also a thing. If you want to just keep on simulating, I really appreciate that. For the long sims also. I'm also going to say it seems like this year's simming is a much faster pace than last 2013's game. Of course, we have MMA hiatuses, movie career hiatuses, stuff of that nature. But the big one I'm going to talk to you guys about is broadcasting. Of course, with the WWE Network right now, we can now simulate that in the real world. We can simulate how we have our own network, and you can build it up through subscription-based, free-to-air, commercial, pay-per-view. And for those who don't know what that is, pay-per-view, of course, you see it, you pay for it, you get it. It's kind of, the big event stuff. Commercial is more likely for your television, which you want to have subscription-based. I think could be really beneficial in the end if you're a huge company and you have a very enormous range of not popularity, but viewers that can see it. I can't think of the word right now. I don't know why it's on the top of my head, but yeah, you can definitely increase your range with your broadcaster. I like that. It's very expensive, I will say that. Starting off, I believe it is like $10 million to make, and then you have to pay millions of dollars to increase your coverage. That's what I was looking for. You got to increase your coverage in each region of the game. Of course, you want to have within a 71% importance, I believe, within a region, or it's either importance or popularity, and that will keep you afloat on keeping ahead of the game with your subscriptions. You'll be making money, not losing money. Of course, free to air. It's free, everyone's seeing it, but you're not making money in the end. So you got to think of it there. The only big thing this year that I would really want to see in a next edition of the game is developmental company. I think needs a little bit of work. I know this year now you can change around with it, and you can have staffing. You can have your head booker and the owner of it. You can change around there. I think that's really cool. But ultimately, I think we want to play as their developmental companies. So I know there's ways to work around that, just making another brand, stuff of that nature. But I think a lot of people want to work as the developmental companies, especially when you have a lot of people who don't actually play as the head booker, and they have to do the challenges of the owner. I think that's one thing. A lot of me and my buddies, we always play as the owner, but I know if I want to challenge, I'll play as the head booker, and we'll get some weird challenges like no one under 30 can be booked, or no psychopaths, stuff of that. So there's that. Let's talk about some of the stuff you can do in the game in terms of the companies and how you can manage your company, and what product of course is, if we look at ECW, it's more of that hardcore style. Ring of Honor is more respected. Japan's more hard hitting, stuff of that nature, but you can implement all of those features a little bit by giving it that cult feel, that comedy feel. Everything kind of just blends together how you want to make your company in the end. I think that's a key thing. If you do create your own company, which is a great feature if you ask me. So, of course, multiplayer, if you want to play with your buddies, as I was saying, you can have up to 8 people. I think that's really cool. I think that's really is a pain in the butt sometimes, because you'll spend a very long time playing with your buddies. Of course, you can do the file sharing with people on the community forums, Great Hawk Software forums. It's a great place. It's where you have a lot of your mods, unless you're with the mod squad. They got the home prowrestling.com, ricepiper.com. I think that's like a short URL for it. It's where you can get more of your throwback mods. But of course, Flash, the Who 87, people like them, they're creating the real world mods every month, doing that. Of course, we got the Afghanic. I like that one. I love the 9000 verse, which has a lot of cartoony stuff in it. So just different ways to play the game, different modding. I think the modding is what really keeps this game alive, and I'll say that. The one thing I will also touch up on is that I think this game needs to be on Steam. We finally got 2010 on Steam. I think we just got 2013 on Steam also. We need to have the latest edition on Steam. I definitely say that that's definitely something that will increase the coverage of the game. I think that's one thing with the old school keys and everything, and how that works from a technological standpoint. You have you buy your game, you get your product key, you type it in, you copy and paste it from your email, bada bing, you're good to go. However, of course, it is built into your motherboard, into your machine. Kind of like if you have a Windows 10 product key, it is stuck to that motherboard most likely. Of course, there's little workarounds to it, but in terms of this key for Great Hawk Software, if you're wanting to play most of their games, like Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, you will need that product key. Of course, the game retails at about $35. That is US dollars. I'm not too sure what it is going to be for pounds and stuff like that, but you can do the conversion in Google. But just keep that in mind, that you will need a product key. For the most part, it was very instant. When I bought the game last year, I actually bought it off of my phone. I will say that. I bought it off of my phone in school, because the game came out roughly 1 p.m. and I was an hour away from getting out of school. So there's a fun little story for you guys. So other than that, the game is really, really great. Of course, you have to deal with a lot of backstage stuff. You got to deal with how people deal when it comes to drug addictions, not being happy, people they don't like working with, stuff of that nature. I think this is a game that you have to get your hands on and play in order to understand a lot of what I'm talking about. I think I can't really get too crazy when it comes to this review, because this is more something that you have to play. I can't just give my solid opinion on it and you're going to understand everything. That's just how it's going to be. you know, in the end, because you can change the layout of the formatting of the game. You can change it with skins. You can change all the buttons so if it looks better for you. If you're colorblind, stuff like that. You know, if you're colorblind, you can definitely change around the colors so it's more friendly to you. I think that's a big thing with the skins. All the skins is that they help change the interface of the game. So, but if I had to give the game a solid score, of course I'm biased. I give it a 10 out of 10. But I guess from a realistic standpoint, I'd give the game a 9. Of course, it is a text-based game still, so it won't hold everyone's attention. But for me, I think I definitely play this a lot more than I played WWE 2K17, and I played it a lot more than I played 2K16. I think if you put this game on Steam and you compare it to those games, which, no offense, they've always been broken on the PC. I think this one, you can rarely find any problems with this format right now. So I think definitely a 9 out of 10, just from small instances of I think it should be on Steam. Maybe change around a little bit of stuff with the developmental company, and maybe a little bit more when it comes to multiplayer. I feel like the integration there sometimes can be a little broken in terms of if you want to, you know, have someone be an owner and a head booker, you know, the game crashes, stuff like that. Buying out their company, sometimes it crashes, stuff of that nature. But those are stuff you really shouldn't be doing in multiplayer. So if this is a game that you like, you enjoy, tell me about it down below. I love this series. Until then, keep it safe.